Hey guys, Thinkpo here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing well. And today we'll be doing something slightly different. So, in light of Todd Howard's last comments, right, we know now that Shattered Space is coming in fall 2024, which I believe, what does it work out to be, September-ish? So, I found this article on Forbes, right, and it raises a lot of questions regarding the current and future state of the game. So let's just quickly read through it together, and then I'll give you my thoughts on what I think about the article, but also what I think will come in the future with these updates. So, the title of the article is How Much More Work Will or Should Bethesda Sink into Starfield? Well, considering Starfield broke all sorts of records, I would pretty much hope that Bethesda will sink in much more work into Starfield in times to come, because the potential with Starfield as an IP is limitless, right? Absolutely limitless. They can include new factions, aliens. The sky's the limit, no pun intended. But look at what No Man's Sky has accomplished after all the criticism they received. So if No Man's Sky could bounce back, a company like Bethesda almost certainly will bounce back. So call me optimistic, because I have a lot of writing on Starfield. I genuinely believe that Starfield will come good. Hell, a lot of people are really enjoying it in how it is, right? So more content will only make it much better. So moving on, it says there's been a lot of talk about Bethesda and their priorities lately, namely due to resurgence of interest in Fallout as a result of the Amazon show, big sales, and next-gen update for Fallout 4. So this is true. I've gone back to playing Fallout 4 and have really been enjoying Fallout 4 too. But having said that, Fallout 4 is another different game altogether. It will never replace Starfield, and Starfield will never replace Fallout. So let's just get that out of the way. And with Bethesda getting all this extra income from the show and from Fallout 4, and this just means there's more funding for future games and games that are already out. Matter of fact, Todd Howard has also confirmed there's few more Fallout projects in the works, right? So this led me to wonder why Bethesda has put a new Fallout game so far on the back burner, to the point where we might not see a new entry for the better part of a decade. Okay. The biggest reason for this, of course, is Starfield. This was a new IP that Bethesda wanted to develop, which pushed back Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5 4 or 5 years because of lengthy developer cycles. And guys, once again, this was an exclusive and still managed to smash all sorts of records. I think this was the most anticipated game. They had something like 10 million players or something. So crazy numbers. Bethesda has proclaimed they want Starfield to be played for years, but so far they haven't exactly set the game up for that sort of success. That is correct. That is also correct. I'm not gonna dispute that. So there's few reasons for that. So obviously they were working on Fallout 4. They're still working on Elder Scrolls 6 while they're supporting other old games. So now I believe, with Fallout 4 out of the way and the update out, I think, as Todd Howard has suggested and many has speculated, I think now it's all hands on deck back with Starfield, right? The question now is just how much work will Bethesda put into Starfield going forward, and how much should they, if it sacrifices the resources that could be applied into getting Elder Scrolls or Fallout faster. I don't agree with this statement here, right? They will have a dedicated team, a DLC team that work on Starfield, and the core team that worked on Starfield will move on to Fallout or Elder Scrolls. That's how other games do it. I don't see why Bethesda will do it differently. And these DLC teams, take for example Total War Warhammer 3, they brought out an atrocious game in the state that it was launched. And then these DLC teams came in and they did amazing work. They did it with Total War Warhammer 2, and they did it with Total War Warhammer 3. So going by that and what's happened with No Man's Sky, I have no doubt. I mean, take No Man's Sky, for example. They have a new game coming out. It's going to be like a medieval fantasy game. Kind of like No Man's Sky, procedurally generated, but it'll be only one planet. So they have a new game coming out. They've still been pumping out updates left, right, and center. And their team is much smaller than Bethesda's team. Anyways, moving on. We're now 7 months from Starfield launch in September of 2023, which is true. There have been incredibly few major updates for the game outside of a long list of bug fixes and visual improvements. That is also correct. However, one is not expected to build on shaky foundations. You gotta get your foundations right before you can build upon them. And I completely agree with what they were doing. Fix the current state of the game, then bring out a DLC. You know, as much as I want new content, fix the game first, then people will play it and people will come back to it. We are 4 full months into 2024. A period when Bethesda said the pace of updates will pick up. Sorry, the pace of updates will pick up, but no substantive content has been added to the game, nor official mod tools. So these are coming, confirmed, and no substantive content. I agree with this. Substantial content has not been added. There's been tons and tons of bug fixes. They promised survival mode, which have not delivered. So I'm guessing they were not content with the state of the game, so they work to continue to improve it. No game should ever launch the way Starfield did, but you know how these companies are these days. They shareholder pressures, among other pressures, and they got timelines to deliver, right? And many companies crash and burn. So I completely agree why they are taking so long. At the same time, the inner gamer in me, the Starfield fan, screams out for more content. No two ways about that. Moving on. Bethesda has confirmed a number of updates coming, which will include city maps. Oh, don't even get me started on city maps. This should have been in the game to begin with. There is no reason why we should not have city maps. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. It's a testament of how much, short span of time they had to get this game up and running. Crazy, crazy stuff. And new means of traversal, which many players believe to be land vehicles. I believe so as well, and I cannot wait for there to be land vehicles. It will make exploration a lot better. Just imagine, right? Imagine having land speeders that you can fully customize, just like you can fully customize ships. They'll be awesome. It'll just add that extra, flavor to the whole space survival RPG experience. It'll be awesome. It'll be absolutely awesome, and I can already imagine what they will look like, given like the art style they use for this game. It'll be just cool. It'll be really, really cool. Well, let me know how you guys feel about the land vehicles. I think many of you would agree with me that the current traversal just doesn't cut it. It's just not good enough, especially when they introduce survival mode. And survival mode will have no fast travel. I think land vehicles will be awesome, especially since like you can use them. I would assume they would work like mules as well. Like they would have like carry capacity, just like your ship has carry capacity. And it'll be awesome because right now you get overburdened. If you're someone that likes out there farming resources and doing stuff, you will get overburdened very, very quickly. And then you can't fast travel, you can't go back to your ship. So you have to drop a lot of your stuff, and it's just really, really annoying. And of course, the biggest thing in the Shattered Space expansion. So, Shattered Space, I think they've already indicated what could potentially come to Shattered Space. So, space station building. So imagine like Outpost but in space. I think data miners have already found heaps of stuff, and modders have already introduced space stations. So I don't see why Bethesda would not bring that. But also shipbuilding. I think that they'll take shipbuilding to another level. Right now, I think shipbuilding has a lot of issues with it. It's not user friendly, and you're very limited what you can do. And all ships, whether they're A class, B class, C class, they all run the same. They all run the same. Fighting enemies is the same. There's really not much. It's there's no innovation there. It's just like a mini game essentially. It's cool. I enjoy shipbuilding. I enjoy somewhat the ship combat, even though New Game Plus 10 gets absolutely brutal. I don't mind it, but I feel like there's a lot of space for improvement, especially in like the loading times when you space travel. So I feel like Bethesda still has a lot of work ahead of them if they're gonna bring this game up to scratch. But hey, judging by Skyrim and Fallout, I have no doubts that they're gonna come good on their promise. It may take a while and people may get frustrated, but hey, we are going back to Fallout. What is it, like 10 years later? Fallout 4, sorry, 10 years later, and enjoying the absolute crap out of it. I feel like Starfield has a lot more potential. Let me know what you guys think. That's just my current take on the article. But I could be wrong. I hope I'm right, but I could be wrong. You just never know these game devs, and if one day they turn around and say, hey, not enough player base, let's cut our losses. It's not business sound to go and continue this project. I'm sure they'll do it, but hey, they're not exactly short of funding. It's a good IP. All they need to do is just steer in the right direction, like No Man's Sky has done, and I'm confident that they'll come good. So going on, Bethesda has struck many of its has stuck with many of its past games through multiple new content updates, not just Fallout 76, which is a live game that essentially demands them. So once again, Fallout 76 was an absolute disaster, and as the years go on, the game has improved substantially. As such, it feels like Starfield should be getting new updates over time, which I agree with. But in 7 months, it just hasn't happened, and we have no firm dates on when that will happen. Meanwhile, players are lamenting that if Starfield was skipped, we'd probably be playing Elder Scrolls 6 by now, and Fallout 5 will be much closer. Look, I agree and disagree, but Bethesda can't just be about making Fallout and Elder Scrolls 6. No, let the team be ambitious. They have one of the best dev teams in the world. Let them be ambitious. That's how you discover new games. That's how new ideas come to fruition. You can't just expect them to make the same games over and over and over again. Okay, but I can't blame Bethesda for wanting to branch out. True. And I'm not willing to call Starfield a failure, as everyone always reminds me. I gave it very high score at launch. I personally really enjoyed it. People still enjoy it, man. 7 months later, I still enjoy it. Not to go all player count, but given current events, the last 4 Fallout games now have higher player counts than Starfield. Well, okay. So it peaked 7,700 this week. And it's Xbox 39th most played game, and it's behind 2011 Skyrim. Yes, it's a single player game, but it was specifically set up for more or less infinite playthroughs through its new game plus new universe system. Yeah, I get that. But that has more limits than has appeared to initially. But hey guys, like, as what I'm saying, infinite potential. Whether we get to see it or not, it's up to the devs, but also the player community as well. If you continue to show interest, I believe they will continue investing in it. But I think, look, I'm sorry to say this, but if Shattered Space is a total failure, I think that is it for this game, at least in terms of major updates. They'll continue to support it, but I just don't see them double down and just overcommitting. But anyways, that's just my personal opinion. So Shattered Space expansion is actually pretty important because while Starfield launched on Game Pass for free, expansion or DLC are rarely offered on the service and have to be purchased separately, which is also true. I'll be amazed if Shattered Space was any less than $40 at launch. And Starfield mercifully has no microtransactions otherwise. That's good that there is no microtransactions. So my gut tells me Starfield support is going to wind down faster than Bethesda may have originally planned. Players, and I'm guessing Microsoft wants them to really focus on these huge titles, but we'll see what they do. I disagree with that. I think depending how the DLC is received, will sort of decide how this game will move forward. If the DLC is a failure and it does not bring players back to the game, then yeah, I agree with him. But if Shattered Space delivers and we see player count rise, which we should, a lot of people on the forums are saying they really enjoy the game, but they feel like there's not enough content to keep them going. If they bring the content back, I don't see why this should be a problem. Anyways, please let me know whether you agree or disagree in the comment section below, and I hope to catch you next video. Peace.